This particular problem, you see that your diameter is actually 2 because the length of that square, top of that square runs 2 units. So therefore, the radius is 1/2 of your diameter, so the radius would be 1 unit. Now the area, the formula for the area of a square, or a circle, sorry, is pi r squared. Now we know the radius to be 1. We can substitute that in for r and evaluate this. So we have 1 squared is 1, and 1 times anything is just going to be whatever you're multiplying 1 by, so 1 times pi is simply pi square units. And that would be the area of that circle. Okay. Now, similar triangles have the same angle measurements, corresponding angle measurements. So comparing these two triangles, if I see that this angle up here is 90 degrees, and I come down and that tells me that angle A is also 90 degrees. This angle in the corner here is 60 degrees, so that tells me that angle B is also 60 degrees. Down here it's 30 degrees, so angle C is 30 degrees. Now, similar triangles also have sides that are proportional. So these triangles are in proportion to one another. So the sides 2 to 4 would be in proportion to x and 8. So I can write that in fraction form as a proportion. 2 is to 4 as x is to 8. Now, to solve a proportion, there are different ways you can do it. One of the ways is using cross multiplication, cross products. 8 times 2 is 16. That gives you one side of the equation equals, multiply the other denominator times the other numerator. 4 times x is 4x. And that gives you the other side of the equation. And then you just solve this equation for x. We have 4 times x, so to undo that, we divide by 4. That tells me that x is equal to 4 because 16 divided by 4 is 4. Okay? All right, this last problem here, number 97, division problem. Your dividend is 2x to the fourth minus 3x to the third. We're adding in the missing term of 0x squared plus x plus 1. And then I'm going to go through my long division process, starting with first term divided by first term to see what goes up top. So 2x to the fourth divided by 2x squared is simply x squared. Now we're going to take that x squared and we're going to distribute to the outside. So x squared times 2x squared is 2x to the fourth. X squared times x is x to the third. X squared times 1 is 1x squared. Now remember, in long division you must subtract, so here that just means that we need to change our signs. So now I have 2x to the fourth minus 2x to the fourth. They cancel out. Negative 3x to the third plus a negative x to the third, or minus x to the third, gives me negative 4x to the third. 0x squared minus 1x squared gives me negative 1x squared. And bring down the next term. And then start the process over again. First term on the inside divided by the first term on the outside. Negative 4x to the third divided by 2x squared gives us negative 2x. Take that negative 2x, distribute. Negative 2x times 2x squared, negative 4x to the third. Negative 2x times x, negative 2x squared. Negative 2x times 1, negative 2x. Again, we must change our signs because of subtraction. So all of these signs become positive now. So negative 4x to the third plus 4x to the third cancels out. Negative 1x squared plus 2x squared is 1x squared. X plus 2x is 3x. Bring down the last term, start over one more time. So x squared divided by 2x squared. Now be careful with that. Those x squares would cancel out, which would leave me with 1/2. So the next thing that goes up here is a positive 1/2. 1/2 times x squared is simply x squared. 1/2 times 1x is simply 1/2 x. 1/2 times 1 is 1/2. Change your signs again. Negative, negative, negative. You get 3x minus 1/2 x is 2.5 x, or 5/2. And then 1 minus 1/2 is 1/2. This part would be your remainder. This part would be your quotient. Okay, hope that you found that to be helpful.